This is Senator Doug Stoner from the state capitol in Atlanta. Last summer and fall, I served on a bipartisan legislative transportation funding study committee. Our public meetings revealed some alarming deficiencies in the operations of the State Department of Transportation and a shortfall in the amount of state revenues available to complete transportation projects now underway, which means less new construction and resurfacing projects in the coming years. Last week, we announced the committee's recommendations to address a serious shortfall in the state funding for much-needed improvements to the state's highway system and other projects. In addition to calling for greater efficiency in the State Department of Transportation operations and expanded use of public-private partnerships, we are recommending two potential methods of raising revenues for road building. First, a statewide 1% transportation sales tax that would replace the current 7.5 cents per gallon motor fuel tax. This proposal would require a constitutional amendment which must be approved by 2/3 of both the House of Representatives and the Senate and by a majority of the voters in the next statewide general election. And second, a regional SPLOST under which counties could join together and implement a special 1 cent local option sales tax to fund regional transportation needs if a majority of the voters in those counties approve. Both of these recommendations will be introduced in the form of legislation to be considered during the current session and are certain to generate much debate. During the first weeks of the session, Governor Sonny Perdue outlined his record $21 billion state budget to legislators. Unfortunately, the governor's budget proposal did very little to address the transportation funding crisis, other than creating a modest revolving loan fund to help local governments finish road projects. We must take major steps this year to address the transportation funding crisis. As a member of the Senate Transportation Committee, this will be a top priority of mine throughout the session. And as chairman of the new Intermodal Rail and Transit Subcommittee, I will be working hard to give Georgians more transportation choices. The need for improvement is growing by the day in Metro Atlanta and across the state. The time to act is now. This is Senator Doug Stoner from the Capitol in Atlanta.